nuts, bolts, screws, any kind of fasteners, like that you go to the hardware store and find. All those things that hold things together. They're incredibly advanced, they're super engineered objects. They hold the whole world together and no one even knows about them. I love them, and they're gorgeous objects, especially when they're manipulated. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to build all those sculptures. Plus, I had other commissions to do. So my idea was to go ahead and make them out of the real nuts and bolts, make them really small, and then build a gallery that was also small to photograph them in. My name is Andrew Crawford. Currently, I'm a professional metalworker, sculptor in Atlanta. Lived here my entire life. Went to art school in Rhode Island. When I graduated, I came back to Atlanta, started my studio, and have built a business making ornamental ironwork, functional ironwork, and sculpture. My employees are Alicia Jenkins, who runs my office. She keeps my schedule and makes sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. Jay Niles and Mac McKeever are my fabricators. They work in the shop with me, usually end up running the jobs once they get going. So what I would do is, I would create an exhibition catalog for a show that never actually happened, using these fake sculptures. So I did it, and I printed it, and it was great. It's like I had this awesome body of work that was never built. Well, put it on the website and people started ordering these pieces from me. So I actually had to build them larger. So the piece that we're working on now, which is called Split, the same thing happened. An old friend called me from San Francisco and said, I was looking at your website, I want to purchase Split. I tried to explain to him that Split didn't exist, that it was a phony, and that it was only 1.5 inches tall. And he said, well, then make it for me the size I want it. So we're making it for him, and we're going to send it to San Francisco when we're done. The process of taking an object that was made one way, blowing it up in scale, and then trying to figure out how to create it using another process is very interesting to me. It usually starts with a really intensely measured drawing. The concept of the screw was literally to take a common object that exists in our world, that we're all very familiar with, and do something quick and slight and gestural to it, to change both its usefulness, change its form, and then change its scale such that the viewer is kind of forced to look at the thing and look at it in a different way. And these pieces are about looking at our world. We hit things a lot with hammers. If you weld something together and it's wrong, you can usually fix it with a hammer. It's a wonderful material. Because here's the thing, like today on the screw, when we were making that spiral, we were measuring as we went. Every time we hit it with a hammer, it probably only moved a 32nd of an inch. It seems like such a brute tool, but it really isn't. Because if you hit it lightly, it barely moves. If you hit it hard, it moves a lot. I mean, sometimes the bigger hammer is more accurate because you can get it done with one hit. If you think of metal as clay, what do you do with clay? You push it around with your fingers. You push it, you pull it, you cut it, you stretch it, you stick it back together, you smooth the joint over. Metal is clay. It's a plastic material. The only difference is you can't touch it with your hands. So what do you touch it with? A hammer. If you think of it that way, it's no big deal.
does.